Welcome. This is ATEEZ News. Two makes one team. You gotta say hello. Welcome. This is ATEEZ News. I am Tiffany.
I am Sabrina.
And we're bringing you ATEEZ Destiny. Today we are going to talk about the things that Home has mentioned many times in interviews, to look in through the Say My Name music video and find the connections between Say My Name and Pirate King, which is the prequel.
Do you know that our two music video has a
lead the story?
Yeah. Say My Name is prequel of Treasure and Pirate King also. So I hope you guys, when watching music video, I hope that you are pointing in relationship and connection.
Alright, so what's the latest news?
Okay, well, it starts with Say My Name. Now, Home said to look for connections between the music videos, particularly with Say My Name and what was the other one?
Pirate King.
Pirate King. One thing that bothered us when we were watching the music video, a million times over and over again, both noticed that there's this weird, fixture, whatever you want to call it, in the back, and it was always present when the group was in a room all together. But the thing was, they were in many rooms all together, and that thing was always there. And we have no idea what this is, so we decided to zoom in on it. So what it is this image of a burnt, photo frame that's melted down. And so all you can see, all of what we can see as the viewers, is just this dried up tree.
So we decided to go to our best friend Google and ask what the frick this picture was. Because we figured it was some kind of bird picture, but you can't see the full picture. So Sabrina here just went to Google and started typing in all kinds of random desert trees.
Finally came across something.
We came across the real picture, the picture that's burnt.
This area is in the Namib Desert in Namibia, and it's called the Scorched Tree Skeletons of the Namib Desert. This area is called Deadvley, and it means dead marsh, or dead valley. That's literally what it translates to, but we found this article, which is really interesting title, called The Scorched Tree Skeletons of the Namib Desert.
We'll leave a link in the description to the article. You can read it yourself, have fun.
And this article that we found has a lot of insight as to what we think has to do with ATEEZ's theories and clues for us.
Now, one thing you need to take note of here is that we're not talking about just any random desert, but the desert that appears, the Sahara Desert in Pirate King, is very similar to this desert.
So here are some interesting points in the article. It says the area is the river's final destination. It's supposed that a river used to flow into the desert and then it suddenly dried up. And it said even in the wettest of years, the water soaks into the salt clay pan, giving this area its nickname, Place of No Return.
So if you think about it, what are all rivers connected to, Sabrina?
The ocean.
Exactly. If they originally end up as pirate kings, or were originally pirate kings to begin with, did they come in on a boat to this desert and the land then dried up and could no longer sail? They got stuck in this place called the Land of No Return.
Or is this a place that they'll never return back to, and that this is the start?
Because supposedly, you could think of this as the beginning after they did their debut. Because Pirate King was used as their debut, even though they're telling the story of the prequel in their second comeback.
Okay, Deadvley used to have a river draining into its nourishing desert life and even had trees, but no longer. Some 900 years ago, the climate dried up and dunes cut off Deadvley from the river. As we already talked about already, all rivers lead to the ocean. If we think of this place as the starting point, nearly all of the lyrics talk about that far away place. To us, if all rivers lead to the ocean, that far away place is the ocean.
Right.
The article also says, it became too dry and Deadvley for the trees to even decompose. This simply scorched black in the sun, monuments to their own destruction. Putting this in context of ATEEZ, keep in mind, ATEEZ, all of this stuff has to do with their debut. They're using pirates and this imagery to explain their debut and their lives as idols. So if these trees are scorched in desert, they can't dry up, they're still there. They're monuments and remnants of the past that they can't forget. To me, I thought that sounded like when they started as KQ fellas, everything they did was really important. Everything, you can still find it, it's still there, but they have to move on from that with a new name as ATEEZ.
But don't get out of your seats just yet. We got a hot movie trailer right off the blocks just for you.
This is his triumph. Patrick Swayze is the soldier of destiny.
Do you feel safe now?
Yes.
Steel Dawn, the legend begins.
So you're probably wondering why we made you watch this cheesy 80s movie trailer. The thing about it is, in that same article with the desert, it mentioned 3 movies, and Steel Dawn was the last one in the series that was mentioned. Steel Dawn is a post-apocalyptic world, and there's this hero that emerges in the desert, but he has no name and no home. And we look at this in comparison to ATEEZ, especially with the lyrics of the song Say My Name.
Which we'll get to.
We'll get to.
So keep in mind the idea of no name, no home.
So, if you notice in the trailer, there's a couple of things we would like to point out. First, towards the beginning, you see a dried up boat on sand, which leads to the theory of maybe they arrived there and it dried up. Then they became like scorched trees and they had nowhere to go. Then forgetting their name and home and their identity because their identity is now turned to ash.
So now we're going to talk about the songs that are involved. The tracks we're going to be talking about are title tracks. We're not really going to focus too much on the B-side tracks or anything, but each of the title tracks is in a specific order. And it goes Holla Holla, Say My Name, Treasure, then Pirate King.
So I'm actually fluent in Korean and I've translated all the lyrics for ATEEZ songs. And the reason why I did this is because I've seen no good translations on the internet for their songs. I've seen a couple lines that were translated correctly or decently, but I've never seen a full, really good translation. And looking at these lyrics, I'm sorry, but you're going to need an accurate translation in order to see some of the things that we're going to be talking about here today. So I just wanted to explain that. The translation I'm reading from, you're not going to be able to find it on the internet until I post it to my lyrics channel. We'll put the link down in the description for you to subscribe to my lyrics channel so you can look on my videos when I post them.
You can find one of her lyrics on the Say My Name V-Live video.
Oh,
By the
that's
way,
right. My Say My Name lyrics are on the official V-Live Say My Name video. My username is Yuki1997, so you can look for my stuff. As Sabrina said, the order of the songs goes Holla Holla, Say My Name, Treasure, and then Pirate King. And the reason why is because of the direction the lyrics take. So, first song is Holla Holla. Sabrina, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction to Holla Holla?
obviously the concept is outfits that are completely pitch black and masks, which points to no name, no home. So we're going to start with Holla Holla on the lyrics.
Please forgive my pronunciation right now because, as you can see, my English pronunciation also don't sound very pretty because I'm sick. But this news is rather important, so we overpass that. Okay, so the part that I'm going to be reading from starts with Turumuro in Korean. It's the first Hong Joon's rap. It says, on rewound film, that place is our starting point still. Even in a day, 100 times more, you come to my mind, the first remnant. That word in Korean can also mean footprint.
So they're in the middle of the desert, and this, he says, is our starting point. Which, it's the starting point in the journey of the whole, like, storytelling of the pirates and stuff like that. But it's also the story of ATEEZ's beginning, where they have nothing. Think about it. Mm-hmm. They're from KQ. KQ ain't that big of a company.
So, Samake Hanbokpan, in the middle of the desert. 조금 많아진 발. The footsteps increase a little. 굴러서 만들어 모래바위. The sandstorm that is made by rolling sand. 저 끝에 다 닿을 때까지. At that end when we arrive. So this is part of Hong Joon's rap when he comes in. It's like midway through his rap. And this is him talking about them being in the desert. So we're thinking, you know, this got to be prequel not only to Pirate King, but to Say My Name as well. Raise me up, take me up. A little more every day. Raise me up, take me up to a faraway place. It says, it mentions faraway place here, which again, we're going to see in all of these songs that they use this phrase very many times. I'm also going to mention, and we're not going to talk about the other songs on the albums, but they also mention this a lot in all the other songs in the albums. It's very used a lot. The one thing about the raps that we gotta understand here is the raps can either be considered part of the storyline or cannot be considered part of the storyline, because we don't know how much the members of ATEEZ know about their own world that they're in. They may not know anything, and the thing about Minky and Hongjin is they take part in writing the lyrics of their raps. So, yes, the raps seem to follow it, but at the same time, that's where a little uncertainty can come in, but who knows? Maybe they do.
Then it goes to Minky's part that says, the jaw-dropping moment is now revealed. People quickly come to me, call in, do it. You have no choice, everything as I have made it. Which, like we said before, who are they calling to? They're calling to us. And then, there's no obstacles in my way.
This song is as a dream.
This life is as a dream. This debut, this group, whatever it is.
So, where it really gets interesting
is Say My Name. Holla Holla definitely comes before Say My Name, because in the Say My Name music video, when they're all lined up with each other against their Holla Holla counterparts, they all still have the masks on. But then Sohwa takes the mask off, showing that he's found an identity, that he doesn't need to hide anymore.
So the thing about Say My Name, and I'm going to connect this back to where we talked about the Holla Holla concept that was in the beginning, where they're wearing masks, they're hiding their faces, there's no identity, they have no name, no home. But this song is saying, say my name, but what name do they really have? Well, I'm going to start with the chorus instead of starting from the beginning to explain this connection here. In the chorus, they say, my name is A to the Z. So he's saying, my name's A to the Z. It could be anywhere between the letters A and Z. So what could his name possibly be? And we haven't figured out and call their name.
In the chorus, they're constantly saying, call me, like, look me in the eyes and say my name. They never tell you.
Look me in the eyes.
They never tell us what their name is.
Yeah.
And so you go back to the beginning of the song, and Yuno's line is interesting because it says, now the past me is burning up, which can reference back to the trees that can't decompose because there's no nutrients whatsoever, so they just stay there.
But they're the past, they're past as what Sabrina mentioned earlier, as KQ fellows, as trainees. It's now burning up, and they're gonna move forward. And the next line after just burning up now, after we don't want no trouble, it's just moving forward. They're just moving forward.
And Mingy says, translated, I run again towards the flame inside the ash black calendar.
So my translator's note on this is that perhaps this means that the old burnt past is reigniting. So maybe talking about their passion from the past reigniting. When they were trainees, they had passion for this debut. They worked hard on it, but they kind of lost hope, and so they ended up just being fossilized. But now they're burning again, and they're going to move forward, and they're fighting through this past, and they describe that as an ash black calendar, which is interesting because the actual color used in this line in Korean translates to ash black or jet black.
And then the pre-chorus every time says, everyone come here to this high place. Again, just this place we don't know about yet. In Mingy's rap, it goes more on the boat imagery. They have a lot of boat imagery, if that wasn't obvious. Take this road's beginning is the beginning of greatness. Success and failure, one small difference completely divides your dream. If you think about them being in the desert, that's their starting place. So they can only start there, with the place where there's nothing. And so they have the choice to be successful or fail. And they decided to pave that path to go on the journey rather than stay in the desert continuously burning up.
So in Hongjin's verse, he's just saying, call me. And he keeps saying, call me. It's kind of like he's almost begging for it. But then he says, my name appears in the search window. Just like that, I wear the name tag I hope for, and friends gather to fill my side. What he's saying here is he's finally found this name that he's been looking for. He now has a name tag that he's hoped for. And the friends that are gathering to fill his side are all the other members of ATEEZ. And if you think about it, at the end of his verse, he says, my name is precisely 4 letters. So he's finally found his name. And he wants people to see it, so he says, leave it so that it sticks out. And he says, zoom in here because I'm the captain. So he's the leader of this team, obviously. I mean, he's obviously the leader of ATEEZ, but in the story as well, he's the leader of these friends that have now gathered together.
The point I'd like to make is he pointed out in like one of the My Music Tastes videos that this whole line where it says surround me and watch me, like surround me and watch, it's in Korean, It's an acronym that spells ATEEZ, A-E-T.
Yeah.
And he also says my name is precisely 4 letters, which in Korean, ATEEZ is.
Maybe this is destiny. Please don't let me go. A beautiful name. It's 18. So we all know that the destiny they're referring to
Is us.
So they go through the chorus again. So call me so that we can go together. Grab my hands, look in my eyes. My name is this. It seems almost as though, even though they're repeating the same verse of my name is A to the Z, they're saying now I know what my name is. Like found it. Even though it's like the same verse, which I think is kind of clever. And then in the very last 2 lines, he says, to only you I can give you everything. But suddenly the last line changes to something they kind of weren't really talking about. And what it says is, now newly reborn, my mind. They now have their name, and they've now been newly reborn as ATEEZ, from trainees to idols.
Okay, next song is... We know for sure that Treasure comes after Say My Name for 2 reasons. In the music video, it's got the 4 chords that at the very end that are obviously Treasure, and then Hongjun says it himself. So, here's where we finally find out, like officially, if you didn't catch on, what the treasure is. And you can tell and you know for sure because of the line where it says, the treasure that is calling us, that treasure that is calling us. So in Say My Name, it said, 나를
He said, call me. And
in Treasure, it says, 우리를 부르는 저 treasure.
So they use the same phrasing.
So who's the people that is calling their name?
So,
who's their destiny?
So
who's the one that they're shouting out to this entire time?
So if we look at the beginning of the Treasure lyrics, it actually says over there, that sparkling treasure. It is beckoning to me, treasure. The thing everyone is after, pleasure. I'm becoming more and more blinded by it, crazy. They're wanting like the people, the interaction, the fans.
Honestly, you could probably like decode this entire song to be about 18. Because like he says, 1 step higher, desperately give me some more. Go higher and higher, I want more, tell me some more. He's obviously calling to 18, give me more, praise me, like show me that I can do this. Show me that what I'm doing is worth it. You know, cheer me on, kind of thing. Don't waste it.
Yeah.
So then Mingy's line picks up again after Hongjun, so like it's his second rap in the first verse. He talks about, basically it seems like real world activity. It has nothing to do with this whole like mystical adventure thing, which shows that there is an adventure side and there is ATEEZ as a group. There's 2 different ATEEZs. And so this one's talking about, we're gonna be everywhere in the press, just you wait. And so that shows that there's a connection between the 2.
It also, Mingy's mentioned before that he actually wrote this specific rap when they were trainees. So you could also look at it as they're reflecting on their past, but now they've found their treasure, the one who calls their name, which is their destiny, which will lead them to their destiny.
And then the pre-chorus, it says, we will not stop, rush, as if we flip the whole world over to the place that no one else has found my treasure. Keep in mind, we're their treasure. So we have to go, they're going on an adventure to find us. So in Say My Name, they found out what the treasure is. In Treasure, they find out where it is.
The treasure's the one calling them. But in the beginning of Treasure, we're beckoning them from far off distance. So
they have more of a location. They have a physical grasp as to where this faraway place is.
The treasure's calling them, so let's quickly depart and find it. So they're gonna come to us. So they're looking for us, every day and every night.
And so in the bridge, okay, it says, over there give me that sparkling star. I stretch out my hand and try to grab it. And the whole time when Say My Name, they're saying, take our hand.
The other thing too is about this verse with the stars. Over there give me that sparkling star, I try to grab it. You continually shine on us like starlight. If they're anything like pirate kings or pirates in general, sailors use what to guide them? First of all, they use compasses. Second of all, they use stars. The interesting thing is they're calling us stars, but if you think about it, right now the light stick for ATEEZ is a compass. So they're referring to all the fans as stars that are their compasses in the night to guide them. So, at the very end, they do the verse again. They say, now let's depart to that far off place. It's calling us that treasure. So they're going to find us, And that's how treasure ends. So they're saying, no, nothing's in my way, I'm gonna find my treasure, I'm gonna find AT. Okay, so last song, it's Pirate King. Glad you hopped on that boat. So they've now found a teeny. We're getting ready to depart. We're getting ready to depart on our journey, and we're going with them. So midway through the beginning mark, they say, until we've reached the whole universe, keep treading on and sail. So they're making reference to the fact that we're walking to the ocean. So they found us in the desert, and now we're going with them to the ocean to set sail. Once we get to the ocean, we lifted the anchor, endlessly setting sail. Below the light, you and I are riding to that radiant place. Step 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, let's go. So we're riding with them somewhere. We're following the light, probably of the stars. Sailors also tend to like to sail in the night because it's easier to navigate. Another thing to take into consideration if they're using light of the stars to guide them is that they mention those sunsets and the horizons a lot in their songs, and that can be seen more as the morning for them. It's the beginning, it's rising, it's the times of excitement. You need to ride in the same boat now. You need a pirate king. So there's nothing to be cautious of. I just hope you become my comrade.
I like being with you, and you do too. The whole time, it's not just like we follow him. He's like the cult leader. He wants to be friends with us.
At the end of Hongjoong's verse here, it says wherever it may be. So we're headed for a destination. We may not know where we'll be, but we're headed to the destiny together. We're going together, and 18, of course, is their destiny because we're the ones who are the light that's leading them.
It doesn't matter the place. If you're alone, it has no meaning. Take my hands. We can go anywhere if we're together. No matter what tries to block us, we can get over anything. We can make everything together. Right? Basically, we'll be together. You won't be alone. You know, ATEEZ can't do anything without Itini. There's nothing.
One of the things they're saying too is like, it doesn't matter if we go to this alone. It really has no meaning. If we don't have our fans with us, it has no meaning. The other thing is like, they say we can go anywhere as long as we're together. So we can find any destination. We make our own destination. We make our own destiny is kind of what they're saying. And they're saying like, no matter what blocks us, you know, we're gonna be able to get over it. We're gonna be able to do everything together. And in the very end, they plead with us almost, saying, hey, don't let go of me. Don't let go. You stick closer to me. Stick closer. And then the very end is, we can go. We can go. We can go. We can go. So now we know we've departed. They're probably gonna come back soon. My guess is it's gonna be, we're headed into our journey. That is all we have for today. Leave in the comments what you think about our theories. Remember, they are theories. This is a disclaimer. We're not KQ employees. We don't know the secrets, but according to Hongjoong, there's a connection, and this is the connection we found.
ATEEZ did a whole interview with BRISxLIFE, and in that, before we made this video, we had already compiled all of this information, and then the interview had come out. And two important things were said. Jungho said that
ATEEZ is my destiny.
They're destined to meet each other anyway.
Hence,
Meeting them,
Pirate King.
them finding us. And then
Hongjoong said,
ATEEZ is our treasure because we find them after we debut.
So, kind of confirms a little bit what we were saying. That's it for ATEEZ News. This is Tiffany.
this is Sabrina.
Logging off. 2 makes 1 team. 감사합니다.
Steel Dawn.